Well, hi, Bob Allen here from Meet the Candidate, and today we are thrilled to have Mario Quintana, candidate for Oxnard City Council. Mario, welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
We always start off with this by asking you, so where did you get a chance to grow up as a youngster?
Well, I grew up in the neighborhood of La Colonia. Grew up there, lived most of my life there, growing up there in the housing projects, to be perfectly honest with you. And it gives you a different perspective on a lot of issues. Ultimately, growing up there, you have, I think you look at it from a different perspective. You kind of go through things that a lot of kids don't go through. For me, growing up, primarily the focus was kind of staying out of trouble. Most of my friends were gang members. Most of my friends fell to the unfortunately that type of lifestyle. And to me, it really was because of lack of opportunities. For me, I kind of fell in love with sport, and the opportunities afforded to me there were what kind of kept me off the streets, the coaches and the mentors, and really kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things. And ultimately, it was kind of me separated from a lot of my friends, primarily because of that issue.
Wow, and as far as education, okay, how did you start from the local community and grow up?
Yeah, well, one thing that I always remember, and this is kind of instilled in me from my mother, was, she always told me, if you don't get an education, you can't help anybody. And so she made education for me a priority. Education for me was a priority. Going to junior college, and I went to Ventura College, did criminal justice there. I wanted to be a police officer, but that didn't work out. But ultimately, it was a good experience. I was actually playing baseball in junior college, and so I still had that sport dream, which kept me in college. And by the time I realized, that dream I wasn't gonna be playing baseball for the Dodgers. I was graduating from the university. I actually went to Cal State Northridge, and I did political science there. Political science, like I said, it's one of those things where you don't know what kind of job you're going to get. But I can tell you why I went into political science. I was coaching Little League. I've been coaching for the last 15 years in Colonia. And, I do it because somebody did it for me. So I see it as a way to give back and a way to really kind of do what was done for me, because it's the reason why I'm here today. But the league was being ran horribly, and our kids were getting shortchanged. And I saw it as, well, if this league isn't providing opportunities to our kids, in the long run, it's going to hurt our community. And so I ran for the president there, and I lost. I lost by 2 votes, and the way I lost was really kind of shady to a certain extent. I got to see politics firsthand for the first time in my life and understand how it works. And lies were made up about me, and I was like, wow, okay, so politics, I got to understand the science if I'm going to be able to help anybody. And so I decided to switch my major around and say, you know what, if I'm going to go into a field like, I was studying sociology at the time, I've got to understand politics, and I can still find the same career path with this degree because it's social science. But I wanted to understand politics because I couldn't look at issues like what was going on in the Little League for kids, people taking advantage of that, and because they knew politics, they were able to win.
Well, how interesting. So you did this all as a volunteer then?
Yes.
Okay, so now you graduate and you want to earn some money.
Yeah,
so how did you get your first job?
Well, my job, the job that I have right now is through the Boys and Girls Club. And the Boys and Girls Club was actually a perfect kind of situation because the job that they were offering was to work with at-risk youth, stuff that I really already had a passion for. And working at the juvenile facility here in Oxnard, that situation kind of was a beautiful kind of combination of opportunity and something perfectly that fit me to come and work with at-risk youth as a program manager and a mentor, working with these kids, talking to them. Majority of them coming out of the neighborhood that I grew up in. So you get an opportunity to kind of get in there, talk to them about life, talk to them about the experience that I've had. Growing up in the exact same environment, growing up in the exact same situations that they're going through, with the exact same people, dealing with the exact same kids that were all my best friends, telling you exactly what they went through. One of the biggest messages I can tell them is that, for me, when I look at gangs and I really don't look at it from a positive perspective whatsoever, because my best friend growing up was shot in the head by a rival gang member. The best man at my wedding was stabbed in front of his home 7 times. So this is something that, to me, I talk to them constantly about it. It really impacted me. To me, it's been my life message, my life mission actually, to do what I can to get kids on the right path. And that's why I've been a volunteer as a Little League coach, not just that, but flag football and basketball as well.
So how long have you been working with the Boys and Girls Club?
For about 2 years. About 2 years.
Okay, and you're over here at the Juvenile
Hall, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the real big question, we now have your background, okay? Now, why is it that you've chosen to run as a candidate for Oxnard City Council, and what do you hope to achieve if you are elected?
Well, one of the reason that I'm in this race, and I can tell you that it is no easy task because of all the things that are going on in my life right now. I've got a 9-month-old now, and she's primarily the reason I'm in this race because, you know, me and my wife, we're in the process of looking for a home. You know, we're thinking about where she's going to go to school. You know, we want the best for her. You know, I grew up in Colonia, and when you grow up there, you know, for me, it's I can go anywhere and be happy. But once you have a child and you're raising a family, it changes everything. And so that gets me to thinking about not just me, myself, but every family in the city of Oxnard and what they must be thinking when they hear about, you know, somebody being stabbed or a rival shooting, a gang shooting, or issues that are of concern that are not being addressed. Nothing's being done. Nothing's really being focused on. All we have really are paper victories in terms of a gang injunction where you know, people feel secure because a gang injunction exists, but it's not really helping anybody. These kids figure out ways to get around that injunction, so we're not really safer. At the end of the day, we have to invest in our youth. We have to really make a commitment to our community in solving this problem. And jumping in this race, I look at it from this perspective. We don't have the kind of money that really is going to take to push and give to the police department so that they can use deterrence as the reason to kind of make our streets safer. What's going to make our streets safer is collaboration, communication, working with communities that have for a long time just kind of stayed out of the process. If you can't engage these communities, we can't move forward. You know, I've been to neighborhood council meetings where you see 10 people, 15 people, and it's always the same people that are paying attention. We can't have that. As leaders, you need to inspire, motivate, mobilize, get people that usually don't get involved. Leaders that must be their focus, because if we're going to solve our problems, it's going to have to be that community that really becomes a community, not just those that talk and those that pay attention. It has to be a real community effort. So when you hear it takes a village to raise to raise a child, I firmly believe in that. And one of the things that I fought for was Spanish simulcast of our city council meetings. That was an issue that I really felt like when you have 50,000 people in a city, that's a critical mass that we cannot afford to ignore nor engage. And when you go to these neighborhoods now and you tell them, we want to get something done in your community, or we want you to get engaged in the political process, now you can turn to your channel and watch our local city council meetings and listen to it in your language. That says a lot for that amount of people to move forward, and that's the first step towards what I believe inclusive behavior, communication.
Okay, well, Mario, I think you've expressed excellently, okay, what your goals are, and we can only wish you the best of luck, and hopefully a lot of people will get an opportunity to at least see this interview and get a little better chance to know you. So again, thanks so much for coming here.
Thank you so much.